Hi guys, welcome to my video. This topic is completely brand new for me and for my viewers, people who have been walking with me from the jump. So if you didn't know by now, I am right now I'm just doing bonnets. I don't do clothing or anything as yet, but I'm slowly getting there. So I just decided to give you a little sneak peek into my sewing world, and then also to discuss 5 tools that I cannot live without. And before I get into that, I just wanted to give the little backstory of to how I came about sewing. So a few years ago, I did the Barbados Natural Hair Show, and I'm there backstage, and this girl basically kind of burst through backstage, and she was running late, and she was like, "I'm so sorry for being late, but I was finishing up this dress." And when I looked at her dress, well, at that time, for me, thinking of somebody making their own clothes is just something that I never really thought about. I knew of couture and like tailors and designers and stuff like that. But to me, when I thought of somebody making their own things, something crafty, came to mind. So there was no in between. So when I was looking at her dress, I was completely blown away because it looked like something that was like fresh off a clothing rack, in the mall or whatever. And that is when I basically started to get really interested in sewing, because I was like, think of all the money that I can save, if I could just go and pick up a fabric that I like and make something that I want to wear, basically custom make whatever I wear. And I am funny shaped in a way, but I guess I have a real shape because I'm small at the top and I'm large at the bottom, like literally. So most dresses and stuff like that can fit me once it has stretch, but like you see, it's a swimsuit, I always have to bicep press. Saying all that to say, I eventually did a sewing class, and I just started off doing like little alterations and like clothes that you had laying around your house that always needed to be fixed. Then I started doing bonnets and head wraps and head scarves, and here and there I tried to make a few things, but I have not really made anything for myself. I haven't made a full outfit for myself. I've made a couple bikini tops, but I'm honestly so busy between my full-time job and Rasta Barbie that I really have not had the time to sit down and try to make something. I've cut out the pattern for a full dress, a full skirt, a full pants, but I'm yet to find the time to do it. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm always going. So I'm hoping that I find the time this year. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I haven't rambled too much for the intro. But here we go. But as soon as you come through the door, you come to my sewing room. And this, shout out to my day bed, the lady who taught me how to sew. She helped me put this together, which is basically with the palettes my sister and I did. So it's 3 here, 3 here. Someone who specializes in upholstery did the skirting. That was a gift from my mother because the exposed palettes bothered her more than it bothered us. So thank you, mommy, for that gift. But the cushions, it's basically 2 oversized cushions, and everything else, this is from Dollar Wise. Everything else was handmade and just filled with foam. So as we turn around here, I'll show you another project here. Actually, this is our ironing board. The foam basically got really thin. I'll add the video to show you what I did, but the foam got really thin as it usually does, and I got this cheap fabric. This was not first choice, but I got this cheap fabric on clearance for like $9 Barbados a yard, which is like $4.50 US, and I just reupholstered it with some new foam. So now my sewing station, the model that I have is JX3135F. So without further ado, I'm going to show you my top 5 sewing tools. Okay, so number 5 would be my fabric weights, aka washers. I literally just went to the hardware store and asked them for the biggest washers that they had, and that was a tip that I got from either YouTube or just from reading different blogs, Pinterest, somewhere, I can't remember where, but washers are very cheap and very effective. So if you're just starting out, just go and ask for washers, and most hardware stores would carry it. Okay, so number 4 would be my pins. Traditionally, and I still use these too, people usually pin fabric with these sort of pins. I'm not sure what the official name for them are, but pinning is such a pain. I really dislike pinning, but when you do pin stuff, it makes your life easier. But these pins, which is basically mini clothespins, oh, so cute. But these are, I just think they're so cute, but they're actually really, really effective, and you can just pop them off, once once you're sewing the fabric and you're buttoning up on the foot, and you're not gonna prick yourself like a million times as you would with these ones. So these do definitely have their purpose, but my life has changed so much since I purchased these. I got this from a video. Again, I'm not 100% sure if it was just Pinterest or YouTube, but the person recommended these, and I got them from Amazon, and it's a pack. It was a pack of 200. I don't know the brand, but I'll link the information below because it should still be in my previous orders, online. So I'll link them, but definitely worth it if you do sew a lot. Number 3 is looking a little tattered, but this is my Self-Healing Rotary mat. Brand is Olfa. I got this in Michael's overseas. I actually went to get it in Barbados, but they were sold out in the island. Hashtag island life. This one, what's the size of this one now? This is 18 by 24. I honestly would like a way bigger one because this table, honestly, if it was as big as the table, that would be perfect, or even bigger. I just basically want a bigger table to fit, like, for example, a whole yard of fabric. But this makes my life so much easier, and it's actually going to bring me to the second favorite tool that I like, because it's a rotary mat for my rotary cutter, so that when you're cutting fabric, you can just cut it. Let me unlock it. You can just cut on here. You're not going to damage your table or tiles or whatever surface you cut on, and it's self-healing, as I said. So if I zoom in here, as much as I slice on here, you can sort of see it there, but it's not gonna create major damage, or it's not gonna gouge out the material. I do not know how it works, but it's beautiful. Okay, so if I'm cutting out a mask, for example, let me use the weight. I'll use a bit of everything here. So this is going to help keep the paper in place. So if I had the scissors, I would have to be, trying to curve and curve and curve, and especially this curve right here, trying to cut at that at this angle is a pain. But with your rotary cutter now, and I'm not going to actually cut it, you can go along those edges smooth like butter, smooth like butter. And one thing I would say, this thing is very sharp. Luckily, I've only been cut once, but I find that they get blunt pretty quickly. So this one, I will have to check my Amazon. Let me lock this before I hurt myself. Hold on. Okay. Right. So I will have to check to see the details in my Amazon previous orders, but as you can see, there's no brand on it. I was probably just being cheap as usual. But this one, it literally just says rotary cutter. That's as basic as it gets. So it did come with extra blades, but I've already been through 3 in a matter of months. But when it is sharp, this is like probably the best thing that I have bought. And the only reason it didn't get number 1 is because the blade does get blunt pretty quickly. So that's a bit of a bummer, because then I have to go back to using my scissors, and it's like, it's defeating the purpose of the ease of this product. So my number 1 product, now let's clear this away. And this is especially because I made bonnets. It's a threader. Oh my goodness. Before I purchased these, again, Amazon, I was threading with a safety pin. Everybody know what a safety pin is, right? Let me see. Yes, here we go. So before I was threading with a safety pin. Then I'm actually glad this dropped out. I purchased this threader, and it broke. It broke the very first time I used it. I don't even know. I don't have the other part to it, but I'm going to upload a picture of what it looked like. But this broke the very first time I used it. But then with these now, when I'm making bonnets, you know, I would just feed the elastic through here, and I can thread it in, I want to say like 10 seconds. Like, that thing goes through so fast. The issue with the safety pin is that, well, for me, one, it takes really long because you have to be patient, because if you try to go too fast, in my experience, it opens. So then you're going to have an open safety pin in the fabric, and obviously the sharp edge is going to stick out and cut you. You can't go forward because it's going to get stuck, and sometimes if you go backwards, it gets stuck as well. So these threaders honestly saved my life, and like I said, I mostly make bonnets, so this is why this product is number one. I'm going to link the details in my description, and if you guys have any suggestions for me, let me know. I still feel like a beginner. I feel weird that you're not seeing my face, but I am sweating so bad right now. I don't want to turn on the camera. But if you have any suggestions for me as a newbie beginner, you know, you can let me know. So that's pretty much it for the video. But before I run off, I need to make an honorable mention to the seam ripper. The seam ripper. Pretty self-explanatory, but you know, if you stitch something wrong, you would just kind of hook this through the threads and unpick it and start again. Definitely when I started to sew, you know, my instructor would be like unpick it, start again, unpick it. So this definitely comes in handy. I still feel like I'm a beginner. I know I'm still a beginner because, like I said, I'm yet to make like actual clothing, and I do feel like once I do get to making clothing, I'm just making it for myself. I enjoy sewing, but I see it as a hobby. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a passion for it, and I don't have dreams of, you know, sewing full time. It's just like a little side thing. But I must say, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time management, because right now I'm at the stage where I wake up and I go to my 9 to 5, and sometimes that's a 6-7 p.m. thing. Then I come home and I sew again. I really try to limit myself to sewing 1 hour at a time, so 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, so that I do not overexert myself, because I do make mistakes when I'm tired. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know if you want to see more. Let me know what you want to see. Talk to me in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. And don't forget to check out the Rasta Barbie page, rastarbarbie.246. Bye.